I don't know how many times we have to say it. I don't know how many examples we can give of the fact that George Galloway just does not care about Rochdale. The hidden footage that guy filmed of him going, well, why should I vote for you? We've never seen you around here before until until this general election started. What do you mean? Why should we be bringing you and voting for you in this town? Why should we be giving you our vote? To which Galloway got quite physical and grabbed the guy and said, "I don't want your vote." And bear in mind, I've seen a lot of Galloway supporters praising him as if he's like the next thing since sliced bread for Rochdale. Well, not shockingly, not too surprisingly, bear in mind, at this time, I think Galloway's victory is about what, 3 weeks old, I think, at this point, the time I'm doing this video. According to this news that we've got from Manchester Evening News, Galloway is already getting set to abandon Rochdale to go onto his next big political project. Are we shocked? Should we be shocked by this? No, absolutely not. And his next big political project, by the way, is he's going to challenge Andy Burnham. Yes, he's going to challenge one of the most popular politicians in the UK to try and unseat Andy Burnham. Good luck, but this reinforces what I've said since day one, that Galloway does not care about anyone else or any other cause except the one of George Galloway. So before we do go on into this, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page, the one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And of course, as always, thank you very much to all those people who do help and support the channel that way. So of course, where is Galloway going to go? Well, of course, he's going to go and challenge Andy Burnham for his next big grand political project. And of course, this comes from the Manchester Evening News about this, with Galloway is considering standing against Andy Burnham to be the Greater Manchester mayor. So remember, it was only 2-3 weeks ago he won. Yet now, already planning to move on. Gee, really invested in the people of Rochdale, isn't he? Anyway, George Galloway is now considering standing against Andy Burnham, the mayor. Andy Burnham, the Manchester Evening News can now reveal. The new Rochdale MP, who won a by-election just 2 weeks ago, is now looking at running to be Greater Manchester's mayor. Returning to Parliament for a 7th time following his by-election win, Mr. Galloway took aim at the Labour mayor in his first speech back in the House of Commons, when he said he puts Labour on notice, threatening to wipe them off the local council and promising to field candidates for Parliament across the country, including in Greater Manchester. He is now thinking about an entire race to become, or of entering the race to become Manchester's Greater Mayor in May, and he has told the quote M.E.N. Manchester Evening News that if he stands for mayor, he would run of a platform of quote getting a better deal for the cities surrounding towns. The Workers' Party of the Workers' Party of Britain leader put the war in Gaza front and center of his by-election campaign, which he won the support of many members of the town's Muslim community. During that campaign, he told the Manchester Evening News that if he wins and returns to Parliament, he would speak about Gaza first before raising any local issues affecting Rochdale. And again, why would you just vote for this guy on a one issue? Because the war in Gaza is not going to last forever. If it ends tomorrow, then great, But if it doesn't, and the people of Rochdale are having issues that are actually affecting them, personally in their locality, and he's going to talk about things in Gaza first before he raises these local issues, then that's a problem. There is a very good reason why he gained the moniker of the MP for Central Baghdad. because when he was MP for Bradford, he cared more about the potholes in, well, in Baghdad than he did in Birmingham. So, but in his first speech back to Parliament this week, he spoke at great length about the town, which he now claims has been, quote, abandoned by the state. He took aim at Greater Manchester's Labour mayor for abandoning Rochdale too. He said the town, which was once the most prosperous in England, is now one of the most poorest, abandoned not just by the government, but abandoned by the mayor of Greater Manchester, for whom I have no animus, quite the contrary, until until the last recent weeks. But he said to understand that he is the mayor of Greater Manchester, not just the mayor of Manchester. But what about the towns around Manchester that get the wrong end of the stick? When asked about this by the Manchester Evening News, whether he is considering standing against Mr. Burnham in May, Mr. Galloway said, "If I stand, it would be on a platform for a better deal for the people of Manchester surrounding towns. Andy Burnham has been seduced by the undoubtable bright lights of the metropolis, but it's fairly dark and austere out here in Greater Manchester." Mr. Galloway, who has contested 7 different parliamentary constituencies since he was expelled from Labour over 21 years ago, entered the race to become London's mayor back in 2016. He came 7th, just winning 1.4% of the votes. However, a spokesperson for Mr. Burnham said 2 weeks to the day after becoming elected the new MP for Rochdale, he now says he wants another job. Well, he will have to choose. He will have to choose, as he can't be both. He also couldn't have made it clearer if he tried. Then Rochdale is just somewhere that he uses for now his own ends. He also seems to be unaware that Rochdale will see its biggest change in over 40 years on a week this Sunday as the buses go back under public control. A very inconvenient fact which destroys the entire basis for Mr. Galloway's mayoral bid. So yeah, yeah, wow. Talk about, elected 2 weeks ago, already thinking of jumping ship. Just bear in mind the elections for the mayor are going to be on May the 2nd, the upcoming May local elections. So what? March, April, May. He's going to be potentially, if he does decide to do this, because you can't be both, 3 months. He's potentially going to do this, and maybe he will run for mayor of Greater Manchester. Oh, I'm actually not sure about the rules because I'm not sure you can still be an MP and run for the rules. So he might continue to be the MP for Rochdale, run to be mayor of Greater Manchester, and then if he wins again, if he wins that, he'll have to give up Rochdale. But this to me seems to be all part of his plan to maybe try and build some sort of central base for the Workers' Party. But as I've said before, the Workers' Party are not a very good party. We've been over their manifesto a bit before, and it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit yikes to say the least. And of course, you've got the whole issue of Rochdale, him sending out 2 different parliamentary different leaflets, one to the Muslim community addressing, of course, Gaza being its primary issue, and then the one to the other non-Muslim community saying how big the problems of immigration are. I wonder what would have happened if the Muslim community had received that one on immigration. I don't think they might be too thrilled about that. Also, might be worth asking what he thinks about, of course, taking in people who are running away from Syria, being persecuted in Syria by the Assad regime. I'm sure he'd have tons to say about all the stuff that Assad has been doing and going on in Syria. But there you go. That's just George Galloway once again jumping ship before he's even got his feet underneath the table. What what an amazing MP you've got there, Rochdale. So as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, you can click the links down below in the doobly-doo. And of course, you can always click the like and share button as well. That helps out the channel too. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.